What's going on, Larry? Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. We know your time is valuable, so we're going to jump straight into the top 3 things that we use for our agency and for that of our clients, both those we consult with and go full service on, to get to the top of the map listings here and here for the sole purpose of getting a ringing phone and more opportunities to close more deals. Now, you and I both know that no business owner cares where they're ranked on Google. Not one. They only want the result that them and their friends and their fellow business associates and even their grandmother talks about these days, about being at the top of Google to get more customers. But you and I, who are both entrepreneurs, tend to get those calls every now and then that, it's a vain claim. Hey, we can get you ranked at the top of Google, pay us X amount per month. But they're not focusing on where to strategically place you to get more calls. And that's what we focus on. That's what makes us different. Now, we were going to open this up as an opportunity to share with you your website. Unfortunately, it seems like it's not functioning well. We're not sure if it's a hosting issue or what's going on with it, but we weren't able to bring up your site, so we can actually do a full audit. But we're able to do a little trick here, site : and then your domain.com, and see how many different pages you actually had here for your website. Unfortunately, we still can't click on these right now and actually get to them because for whatever reason, your website is down. So we can fix that. We can create a new website. We can help you with your online presence. And we can go into the steps that we actually share with businesses just like you to see if you want to do this on your own or if you want to outsource it to us so that we can help you position yourself online to get more calls and opportunities to close deals. Now, in order to do that, we need to first check and make sure that the region you're targeting is of such a sizable population that there's an opportunity to bring more calls coming in. So you're not shy by much of 250,000, so you actually have a decent volume coming around here. That said, you also want to be found, once you correct your online presence and it's back up, to be found for relevant search terms, because this is a relevancy game, not only in terms of proximity and location, but also relevancy. So you can be found for photography, photographer, and yes, they are synonymous to some degree, but Google looks at them as completely different phrases. Also professional photos, and then photo studio. Now, another idea that you can vary this up with is try having Kansas City in the beginning of the statement. So it'd be Kansas City KS, photo studio, and so on and so forth. There are tons of variations. We're just giving you a quick overview. Now, we're also going to give you the transparent idea of what Google has openly stated they look for and evaluate your online presence on to get you to that position and award you credit. So we're going to walk you through that real quick. So tip number 1 is going to be to give visitors the information they're looking for. Well, how do you do that? Well, on your web pages of your website, you want to give them high quality content, especially on your homepage. And Google takes the time out of their day when they wrote this to take this a step further to say this is the single most important thing to do. So, tactically, here's what that means. If you were to do a search for just about anything on the World Wide Web, why does Wikipedia always show up? Well, look, we're not even a quarter of the way down the page over here, and they have tons of words talking about the subject matter that they have. So it's not enough just to go randomly type. It has to be topically relevant and build you as the authority. This has to be done well, has to be done right, can't be scuzzy, spammy, and it can't be copied from anybody else. So it has to be unique, authoritative content talking about them. So a competitor that's in the top of the region right now, ImageQuest, all right, they just with a brief scroll down here, they're still sitting at about 500 words. I would take it further and beat them out by 1,000. So you're looking at 1,500 words just to start on your homepage alone. So tip number 1 is content. Tip number 2 is talking about something called a local business citation. Well, what is that? Well, for any local business, such as yours, for example, it's any online mention of your business's name, address, and phone number. Now, this can occur on local business directories, on different websites, and maybe even applications, whether it's mobile apps or desktop apps, as well as social media platforms. So what does this mean? Well, if you do this well and do this right, you got to have a Google Map listing dialed in here. Okay? A Google Map listing looks something like this. You can go to google.com/business or /places, and you can create this if you haven't already. But there's about 20 different businesses that are listed right here, and there are 20 businesses per page that this can list up to. And I haven't found a business listing in here that actually relates to your company website. So I'm human. I may have overlooked it, but if I do this for a living and I can't find it, how many people are not finding you? Okay? So keep that in mind as you move forward, that you need to be easily found. And we're giving you the tips to do that so that you can be in this coveted map listing where over 70% of the marketplace are coming to look for a service provider for the services that you provide. Now, if you wanted to do this on your own, you can go to any third party online and you can scroll down here. There's about 100 just on this listing alone, okay? Now, you want to get the best bang for your buck. It's not just a random, hey, let me go cite my name, address, and phone number everywhere on the World Wide Web, because quantity does not always beat out quality. So what you need to do is go through these one by one and dial them in. So here's a good example. Bing. Bing is a search engine. Well, in order to claim a listing here, you actually have to be able to log in at the right place, which takes some time to find, just like all of these. And you also need to have an email address that you can actually log in with. So it could be MSN, it could be Outlook, it could be hotmail.com, but you have to go in, you have to create an email address that you can engage with this using. So once you verify that email address, then you have to go back in, again, find the right place as well, and you need to claim this business listing. Now, you also need to build this out, just like with, where were we? Just like a map listing like here. So you have photos, you have a business description, you have some places offer reviews, you have your address, your name, your phone number, your website, and email address in some of these places. So you really have to dial this thing in, and then you submit it for verification. But you got to be careful, because even if you were to take 5 of these a day, okay, whether it's before work, during working hours, maybe on a lunch break, after hours, or if you have kids that you got to put to bed, you might end up burning the midnight oil. There are some places like Yelp, for example, that are going to call you back after you submit it for verification and say, hey, by the way, we have something else. And they're going to try and upsell you. It's turned into a marketing game and a marketing call. And FYI, just like a number of these places, I'm not saying anything about Yelp specifically, but there are some business owners I've spoken with who do not like the long-term contract that they've been locked into, where they said, hey, we're going to give you marketing on our website, and then they get no leads, they don't like the service, and they can't cancel. We offer month-to-month pricing, and if we're not delivering results, we don't want your money. In exchange, though, you do have to give us some time in order to dial this stuff in, and after a while, we don't think that it's going to generate calls. We'll come back and talk to you about it, because we operate with a high level of ethics and integrity. We don't want your money if we can't deliver. That's how we change the game. That's how we're different. So tip number 1 was talking about content. Tip number 2 was talking about citations, putting your name, address, and phone number on the World Wide Web in strategic locations. You want the best bang for your buck, and we go after 300 locations if you want to use us. And tip number 3 is talking about something called a backlink. And we've all seen this clickable text on websites. And when you look down here in this lower left, when I hover over this, you see that it goes to a different address here, support.google.com, and so on and so forth. So this is page A, and when you click on this link on page A, it takes you over to page B, or another place. Google interprets this whole situation as a vote. So with backlinking, you want to get more votes coming to your website, and it's just clickable text, but the rabbit hole gets deeper with the diversity in natural linking. You want this to be natural, even you're trying to work this to your advantage. So you want to get do follow and no follow backlinks. You want to get topically relevant, subject matter relevant information on these backlinks. And then it goes into anchor text variety. I mean, the rabbit hole gets deep. But to keep it surface level and be very transparent about this, you need to have more backlinks than your competition, but quantity is not always the best bang for your buck. You still want quality as well as quantity. And a lot of people tend to screw this up when they outsource to companies who claim they can do all this, but really don't take the time to be careful and do this well. Now, there's still a risk. It's just we offer a better risk for reward ratio. So if you do this well, you dial in the content, citations, and backlinks, after you fix your online presence and your website, again, if you need help, we can help you with that. You can actually position yourself in this map listing, which I know this is talking about public storage, but go back to the different phrases that we talked about, photographer, photography. You can get to the map listing here and give yourself the best opportunity to get over 70% of the marketplace thinking of you first, or among the listing of the first 3 companies that you could get calls for. So if you think we have a few tricks up our sleeve and you want to talk more, here's what we invite you to do. Go back to your email, hit reply, and just let us know you want to schedule a quick 18-minute conversation. We're not looking to do a hard pitch. I mean, if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. Fine, we'll go make someone else rich. But if there is an opportunity for us to get more calls coming into your door and into your phone so that you can close more deals and have a better, more comfortable, profitable business, schedule a conversation with us. Just hit reply. Let us know you'd like to talk, and we will speak with you soon.